Okay, well, I don't see Laura and Jonathan. Oh, wait a minute, I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay.
No, we can hear.
I don't see Laura and, oh, there's Jonathan or Lori. Haven't quite joined yet, but anyway, let's wait till they get on. Apparently they're, hi, Dave Smith. Dave's on.
We're here.
Oh, there's Jonathan and Lori. Excellent. Okay, we can start the meeting now. We were waiting for you. Okay, well, either stand or sit. Oh, we want to start the meeting, so gong, gong, gong. The meeting's officially started, and I am waving the American flag, which I have to get situated here. And you can either stand, sit, kneel, or whatever you want to do for the Pledge of Allegiance, but we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I always add to the end of that, for all those that can afford it, because we know justice costs money. Anyway, okay, now, the next thing we do is the four-way test. And since I have it imprinted on my wall behind me, I can start out the four-way test, and you can all join me. The Rotary four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Ah, yes. And as I mention every month, every week, woe that our politicians should ever read this. Or maybe there's some Rotarians, probably. Anyway, now let's launch into, welcome guests. Welcome guests. We have Lane Calvert here. Welcome, Lane. Thank you for coming. And we also have Gianna Richards, who is our guest speaker.
Good afternoon.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Okay, we don't have any other guests. Usual suspects here. Good. Okay, now, do we have any announcements? I know Gary has one, so let's start with Gary.
Okay, so tonight at 5:15, we have the Rotary District 5320, what do we call that? The Leadership Awards, the District Leadership Awards for Rotary 5320, and that's live on YouTube and Facebook. Starts promptly at 5:15, and to be able to watch it, the easiest way to get there is rotary5320.org/live, and it'll go directly to the live feed. And it's up there now. It just says it's starting at 5:15 when you click on it. In fact, I'll show you because everybody wants to know that, especially Fred. So.
Yes, and the more times I hear it, the more likely it is that I'll be able to actually accomplish it.
Yeah, okay. So let's see, share that screen. Okay, so on this screen, if I go to rotary5320.org/live, when it responds, right there, you just click on that and it says it's going to start at 5:15, but it's live, and that's where you can watch it. And almost every club in the district is mentioned, and there's a lot of, I know that there's a lot of clubs receiving awards tonight. I'm sworn to secrecy along with Gianna as to who those are, but I can be bribed if anybody wants to know. Okay. So enough with that. That's my announcement. Let me stop my.
Okay, next, let's call him Richard. Do you have any announcements, Richard?
You need to unmute. Here, let me try you. There you go. Go ahead.
I don't have any announcements.
What? No announcements? Well, tell us who's speaking next week.
Museum of Neon Art.
That's going to be cool. That's going to be fun. Okay. James, what's new with the restaurant world?
So we're on hold for right now. We are out of restaurants that are chamber members right now. So we're trying to figure out the best way to continue with the program, whether we go outside of the chamber partnership and just do restaurants that are in the community, or if we open it up to all different kinds of businesses within the chamber membership. So stay tuned for next week. I'll have an update for you guys.
Could we go back to the ones that we've done already and recycle them for another week?
Yeah, we could.
That's a thought. Anyway, why don't you, maybe you should think about that and maybe contact the restaurants and see if they're up for another week of.
Yeah, I know that a couple of them already mentioned that they would be kind of on a
Okay.
rotational basis. I don't know about this soon, right after, but yeah, I'll chat with them and I'll let you guys know next week.
Okay, great. All right, thanks. Anybody else have any news that they want to share with you? Helen, what's up?
Well, first I want to thank Gary for getting the announcement on the Fall Fiesta, and anybody that wants to participate on that October 17th, they can do so for the Zoom meeting for our global grant for the Guatemala Literacy Project, and it's free. It should be fun. And also, under this program, they instituted a literacy training project for teachers. And of course, it included the children in Guatemala. It was called Sparks Reading Program. And it just won a Library of Congress Literacy Award. And there's a whole long discussion on that. But it honors organizations that have made outstanding contributions to increasing literacy around the world. So our club has contributed to this project in Guatemala, and I want to thank all of you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Are there any other announcements before we start our speaker?
Just quickly for the foundation, be aware of the End Polio Society, $100 a year. Number of people are joining that right now. Talk to your foundation chair for more information.
Okay, all right. Well, with that, if, James.
Yeah, one last plug for the Alzheimer's Walk in Irvine is happening this Saturday. So if anybody is interested in taking part or putting a team together or walking or joining my team or whatever, any way to help, let me know because there's still time to help.
All right, thank you, James. Thank you for being involved. Okay, anybody else? Any other announcements? Okay, hearing none, I will now introduce our speaker. Gianna Richards joined the Anaheim Rotary in 2009. She's held several positions since joining the club, including president for the 12-13 Rotary year. She's also served as the district in a variety of positions such as executive officer, assistant governor, district conference chair, district secretary, member of the district's charitable foundation. Gianna is also a Paul Harris Fellow, Society member, and Bequest Society member. Her husband, is it Reese? Yeah, Reese is also a Paul Harris Fellow. Gianna and her sister Teresa are second generation Rotarians. Well, that's great. I guess I would be second generation, but it skipped. I think my grandfather was a Rotarian. Anyway, with that, no further ado, we will, you can start, Gianna. If everybody else would mute themselves, or Gary can mute you involuntarily. Okay, thank you.
She's our current district governor. This is her official visit, and I welcome her as your representative to her.
Thank you, Lane.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, President Fred and AG Lane and all of the club members. It's so great to be here. I'm really excited, and I have a PowerPoint presentation, so you don't have to just stare at me and wonder what's going on behind me with all my shelves and basketballs. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. So just one moment, and we will get right into this. You know, the bad thing is with sharing screen, I have 3 screens, so it makes it so much fun. So right now, hopefully, are you seeing the beginning of the PowerPoint, or are you seeing the behind the scenes PowerPoint?
Behind the scenes.
Okay, just sorry about that. Let me make one little edit. I'm gonna stop share and come back. My IT guy was on my computer this morning and he made some adjustments. I'm putting you guys on this screen and sharing this screen, number 2. All right, fingers crossed. Do you see the PowerPoint? I don't think you do.
We don't see anything.
Not yet.
Oh, that's a shame. What is happening? This is when I need my IT guy. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I think it's coming.
Yeah, do you see
Now we got
Rotary Club? Fantastic. Thank you for your patience. Technology is not my forte, but I'm learning and evolving with it. So thank you again for having me here to complete the governor's official visit. It's a different time, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but it's so good to be here, and connecting virtually versus in person is better than nothing. And so I just would like to share some information on Rotary International to be sure that everybody is up to speed and current with information. So about 2.5 years ago, Rotary released their new vision statement, and I think it really captures who we are as Rotarians. Where together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe and in our communities and ourselves. And, you know, as I was preparing 1.5 years ago, learning more about the clubs and becoming familiar with them, I have to say this is a great statement as it holds true to your club because of the work you do both locally and internationally. And to share like the things that are so impressive in your club, you don't need me to tell you, but I want you to know how well that they are recognized throughout our district. To achieve 100 years of service during the last Rotary year is fantastic. And I'm sorry we haven't been able to celebrate yet, but we will celebrate. I know past district Governor Mark is excited to celebrate when we're able to come together. And just 100 years of service is just a fantastic, admirable. My own club is like 35 years, so we have a long way to go. And your Show Some Love Tustin coupons, what a great idea. That is so wonderful. When I saw that earlier in the pandemic, I was so impressed that I shared it with my club. Unfortunately, my club didn't take any traction on it, but I do check on your webpage and have gone to one of the restaurants and use the coupon. So it's nice to see how, and all the other programs you have. And we will definitely look forward to Lobster Fest coming back so that we can all come together. And of course, your support of the Rotary Foundation. A little bit about who I am. President Fred gave some information about me, but I'm in the Anaheim Hills Club and I've been a member since 2009. I was gratefully sponsored by Roy Jefferson, for any of those of you who may know Roy up in Anaheim Hills. I work in the family business, which is managing and developing affordable housing throughout California. And I am a scuba diver. I love to travel. I love to drive cars. And I'm very fortunate that in our family, we have some old cars and some fast cars and some cars that probably shouldn't be driven fast, but we drive fast anyway. And of course, have fun and volunteer. It's important for me to share with you because I don't really brag on my family or myself, but I'm so excited to share with you all this picture down here of this couple. That is a picture of my parents, Jarita and Bruce, who founded our business, but also led me down the Rotary path. And Jarita is a past district governor and the current vice president of Rotary this year. So it's a really unique and exciting opportunity for her to serve Rotary. And it's the first time in the history of Rotary that a sitting director who's serving as a vice president has a child, if you will, an offspring serving as district governor. So it's just so great. I will tell you though, she has me wait in line just like everybody else to get answers to questions because she is our zone director. And I can't call her and just say, hey mom, can you help me out on this Rotary thing? I have to follow the protocols. And a lot of people ask me if I get to jump the line and I don't. I also want to share with you about our international president, Holger Knock, and his wife, Suzanne. They are from Germany, and he is serving from home as everybody is working from home throughout the globe. Slowly, places in Germany are starting to open up, and he's able to travel and see clubs. But otherwise, he's really doing the work of Rotary from home, where in pre-COVID times, the international president would travel the world extensively, seeing clubs and participating in projects and meetings with the UN and other countries, leaders, and really getting out there and promoting who we are. So now we've all learned to do that via this electronic format. And so he has really taken on a great role and is helping us to change how we do Rotary, because his famous line is, there are no Rotary police that are saying you must follow these restrictions. Obviously, there's a code of conduct we follow, but traditional club versus hybrid club versus online club, it is whatever works best for the Rotarians. And so that's really exciting to hear and be able to spread that message on his behalf. Additionally, he'd like me to remind all Rotarians about the 2021 International Convention in Taipei, Taiwan in June. We are currently scheduled to meet in person for that convention. As the district governor, I had to give a goal of how many people I would anticipate would go to the convention. And based on our times when I had to give it, right as COVID was starting, I imagine we'd probably have 50 people. Currently, we have 35 signed up, so that's really exciting that we're very close to our goal. And we will know more in December of this year how the convention will take place, if it will continue to be in person or if we will be doing a virtual conference like we did for Hawaii this year. There's a lot of great opportunities in this regard. And of course, on our district level, it's important to share who the leadership team is so you know what you have available as resources. Obviously, Lane Calvert as your assistant governor. And then following in the governor line behind me, we have Siska Stellhorn as our governor-elect and Dan Olween as our governor nominee. Also working with Lane and all the other assistant governors is Jay Lieberman. He's the overseer of all AGs. And we have our district administrator, Kevin Islas, and a governor's assistant who works with me, Maria Jimenez. And I just want you to know I will be sharing this PowerPoint with all the club members after the meeting, because there is information in here that I won't be going over. For example, this screen, because there's so much information here and it's really items and priorities that I believe that this club is already implementing based on the information that I've learned in preparing to become governor. And it just really speaks to how in line we all are as Rotarians, especially here in your club. So you will get this PowerPoint to read at your leisure at the end of the evening, if you're looking for something exciting to review. And I'd like to share some Rotary updates with you. If you haven't heard, Africa has been certified as wild polio free. That happened in August. That is just such an accomplishment for Rotarians, health workers, the World Health Organization. It just is amazing. We will continue as Rotarians to focus on giving vaccines so that we can continue to keep that country free of the wild polio virus. And of course, doing our best efforts to eradicate the virus from Pakistan and Afghanistan, which, as you may know, has been very difficult for various reasons, politically, culturally, and we as Rotarians and all of our partners are doing our best to eradicate polio in those two countries. And as Assistant Governor Lane mentioned, we do have our district's Polio Plus Society, which is very similar to our Paul Harris Society. The Polio Plus Society is where you donate $100 a year until polio is eradicated. So we are 2 countries away from eradicating polio, and you make this commitment and you become part of the Society for Polio Plus. And again, I'll shoot this email out to everybody so that you'll have the contact information for Jim Paddock. We currently have about 50 members that have signed up for this society, and our goal is to get to 250 members by October 24th, which is in Polio Day across the world. So again, a great opportunity to continue our support of eradicating polio. Some other news within the Rotary world is Rotary International's nominating committee has selected Jennifer Jones from Canada as the president for 2022-2023, which is a great, exciting piece of news. Jennifer is the first female nominee, and we're looking forward to that. She's served Rotary for a lot of years and has a lot of experience in various areas that I think that we will all benefit from. And if you haven't heard, we at Rotary have partnered with Toastmasters, a great opportunity for continued leadership development and public speaking. And we are gathering information here within our district to share with all of our clubs so that we can have our clubs and local chapters of Toastmasters come together, because Toastmasters is looking to expand their service and Rotary is always looking to expand leadership. So we find that to be a great partnership and are looking forward to that very much. I want to talk to you briefly about the presidential citation, because it is so easy and streamlined this year to obtain the presidential citation for each club. All we have to do as a club is go to Rotary Club Central on My Rotary at rotary.org, and you pick 13 of the 25 available goals, and you achieve those goals, those 13 goals. And most of these goals are calculated by Rotary International's data. So it's very simple to achieve, and it's so easy and streamlined versus prior years where we had to really submit data and show evidence. This is going to be a fantastic opportunity for all of our clubs to obtain the citation. And then we can celebrate, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to celebrate in person next year, but we're not making any promises yet. Also, I'd like to share with you my district goals. I shared this with all of our presidents-elect at PETS, and I am looking forward to organic and sustainable growth for membership. You know, I was really concerned about a couple of clubs who are sort of fading out. They're smaller clubs, and I said that to my colleagues and to President Holger, and President Holger said, Gianna, organic and sustainable growth is the way to go, because it's easier to give birth than resurrect the dead. And you know, I never really thought about it. All the energy we as a district are putting into some clubs that are sort of falling away because of not being innovative and so forth, we really are out wanting to support new clubs and start new clubs. And so we have some great opportunities coming our way in the district. We have a few clubs that are under formation and starting to get their information together to charter. So that's fantastic. And from this time last year, we're only down 11 members. So that's really exciting too, because in prior years, we've been much higher in a loss of members. So it's a great work that the clubs are doing for retention. And then of course, we want to support My Rotary and Rotary Direct and get information about that. Continue to support the Rotary Foundation. We are not able to have any youth services activities right now, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't all be preparing for when that does return post-COVID. So it's important that our clubs and Rotarians get youth protection training done so that we're ready to hit the ground running when we're able to re-engage with the youth. And I've talked about the presidential citation, and we have this year formed a diversity, equity, and inclusion task force so that we're sure that we properly represent our communities and we're inclusive of everybody. And then of course, be flexible, take advantage of opportunities, and stay connected. And I just want to show a couple of screens on My Rotary so that you're familiar. If you're not registered at My Rotary, you can go in and set up an account. Very easy to use, in my opinion, very friendly, user-friendly. And you all saw my little mess up here earlier when I was trying to get the screens up. So it's friendly, user-friendly on my level of technology. And of course, reminders about the Rotary Foundation and how important it is to donate as we continue to fight polio and support our annual fund, because what we give during this Rotary year will come back to us in 3 years to our district in district grants. And that's a wonderful thing. And for those of you who are looking for endowments, giving for the future, that's an opportunity. And again, Jen Paddock can be reached anytime regarding anything related to the Rotary Foundation. I'd like to share with you some upcoming events. Tonight we have past District Governor Mark Aaron's award ceremony for his year of service, and that will be live, as Gary showed us, tonight at 5:15. On Monday, we have a unique opportunity to partner with 2 other districts within our area to have a membership webinar brought to us by Jason Brown, who spoke to all 534 of us governors in San Diego in January when we went for our final training. And then we have a leadership forum in October where we will have a special guest who is a trustee of the Rotary Foundation speak to us, San-Koo Yoon from Seoul, Korea. And I really want to encourage people to consider signing up for our Rotary Leadership Institute, because it is a great way to build not only Rotary knowledge, but just professional development. I went through the class 2 years ago and I found it very useful in my everyday life. And last but almost here, one more screen after this, I just want to share resources with everybody because I feel it's important. We have a really great website in our own district with Rotary resources. Our Zone 2627 has a great resource webpage. And of course, the Learning Center and the Brand Center on Rotary.org. You can go into the Learning Center and learn about every aspect of Rotary by listening to videos, and some are actually interactive live. And of course, Lane and Kevin and each other and myself are all here to help with you in any questions you may have. And I say closing, but it's not truly closing because you'll have the opportunity to ask some questions. But it's important for me to share this saying with you, if you will. My husband is from Jamaica, and we were traveling a couple years ago, and I saw this sign, and I made him stop in the middle of the road so I could get a picture of it. To fill your heart with love, your mind with truth, and your life with service is a true reflection of what we do as Rotarians. And it just makes me happy to be a part of an organization that is so kind and supportive of each other and of the community and the world. And at this point, I would ask President Fred, I can stop sharing my screen here. I would ask President Fred to come up and allow me to give him a gift. Well, because we're in COVID and because I'm trying to be fiscally responsible to our district, I decided I would do away with club president gifts, and I would personally, Reese and I would personally make a donation to the club for you to use in your foundation or in your projects. So President Fred, you will be receiving a donation from Reese and I to use in your club as however you like. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve the district and you. And I am just really enjoying myself, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, I'd like to thank you for your gift. I appreciate that, and certainly we'll put it to good use for the Rotary. And I particularly like that last picture of the sign that was in Jamaica that you took that picture.
Correct.
Yeah, that was nice. That was very Rotary-ish.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, who's got some questions? We can raise hands. Anybody? Oh, there we go. Helen.
Considering we've had these horrific fires in California, it's such a disaster. What is Rotary doing to respond for many people in our clubs and other situations of need through the fire disasters?
Thank you, Helen. That's a great question. Rotary does have a disaster fund that they've set up because it seems over the last 7 or 8 years, there's just been constant disaster throughout the world. And so Rotary has had that opportunity come forth, and I am personally in contact with all of our district governors throughout California because they're part of our zone of Rotary, and that goes up into Oregon, Washington, parts of Canada, and then now out to like New Mexico, Arizona, or Nevada, and Hawaii. And they have used the disaster funds from Rotary International to lay a foundation because they're far from done dealing with this, obviously. And Rotary has put a plan in action to be there long-term and not just in the moment. And so all of the districts that have been affected are eligible to apply for grants that are turned around very quickly, similar to what we did with the COVID grants earlier this year, where the foundation gave to grants nearly $2 million in funds to help do different grants that were matched by districts. So I'm really impressed with the way Rotary has evolved on their disaster plan.
I can't hear you, Fred, so I'm just going to talk.
You couldn't hear me?
No, I can't hear Fred. Fred's trying to talk.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted. Yeah, sorry. Are there any other questions we have for Gianna?
I have one question.
Yes, Gary.
It's very quick. Well, you said earlier that wild polio is now eradicated in Africa. What is wild polio as opposed to just polio?
So there are 3 strains of polio: type 1, type 2, and wild. And wild is the one that is the most devastating to somebody who would contract it. And we are able to handle type 1 and type 2 easily with the vaccinations. And the wild polio is the one that's more aggressive and difficult to vaccinate against. And for the last 4 years, there have been no cases reported of wild polio. So we're really focused on wild polio because we've got types 1 and 2 covered, if you will. And that's where our big issue is, as eradicating the disease.
I was watching a video on the weekend with this organization called Charity Water. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's similar to the Sudan Water Project that Rotary has. And one of the things that they pointed out they've done thousands of wells across Africa, is that the eradication of polio depends on clean water. And so one of the things that, yes, we need to have what Rotary does is vaccinations, but if we don't have clean water, then polio is going to continue to thrive. And so I think one of the things that has been really complimentary about what Rotary has done in the world is, okay, we've focused our efforts on eradicating polio, but in order for those diseases to stay gone, we've got a sustainable effort to create sources of clean water. I think that's terrific.
Yeah, that's a great point. And just very quickly, one thing I didn't know until I really became active in my training for governor is that there are polio shedders. And I know this is a lunchtime discussion, so I won't go into details, but there are people who are asymptomatic with the disease, and as it goes through their system continuously and they use the facilities, the polio virus is there. And it doesn't affect them, but they could spread it to other people, and clean water is a way to help prevent that.
Well, in my travels with my wife and I through third world countries and portions thereof, like Georgia, Alabama, East Tennessee, Kentucky, places like that, we found that clean water is really important. And we go to places, particularly where they don't have clean water, and it's really, I don't know how the people live. You go to places in Africa where they have electricity, and they have water, but it's not necessarily clean water. It could be, anything. And as far as sanitation, toilets, they're deep pit toilets. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're not deep, and they don't clean it. It just goes down into basically back into the water table. So it's kind of a very bad situation in lots of parts of the world. So And some, I know our club in Forest Grove, Oregon, we sponsored water projects consistently through Africa. We put in wells and this sort of thing. But anyway, that's certainly something that Rotary works on and is having some success at. One by one, you put a well in, you get a community water.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't seem like much here when we turn on the tap and get water, but boy, it's if you don't have it, it's not good. Anyway,
Agreed.
are there any other comments or questions? Yes, Lane.
Yeah, just a quick one, Gianna. What's the current plan for the foundation dinner? I've heard a couple of different things.
Well, I don't know where you've heard anything from because it's been really hush hush. But right now, we're not going to be meeting in person for a foundation dinner, obviously based on the pandemic. But there is a committee working together to plan something virtually. We're looking to do something in November and have some fun. But we will keep everybody posted. I imagine we'll have an announcement out by next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lane. Thank you, Gianna.
My
Okay,
pleasure.
anything else from anybody?
Just a reminder, and I'm sure everybody just received an email like I did from Mark, just a reminder that the Rotary District event is on at 5:15 tonight. Watch it on YouTube or Facebook.
Right, if you have a phone, you can set your alarm for like 5:10 so you can make sure you can get on it like I just did. So as long as you have your phone with you, the thing rings, you get near a computer, you can watch it. All right.
If you miss it live, you can replay it.
Yes, that's true, but it's better to be there live.
Yeah.
And if it only goes for half an hour, it will not cut into your dinner hour. So by 5:45, you'll be done. And 6 o'clock, probably at the latest. Okay.
Just a quick thing, Gianna, that was a very good presentation.
Thank you very much, Pat.
Thanks, Pat. Am I still muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay, good. All right. Well, with that, I would like to, there's nothing further we can discuss at the time. I'd like to thank everybody. We had 18 people here today, and that's more than we have at a lot of meetings. And I'm really pleased that we have a lot of people showing up. And I guess our phone bank to try to get a hold of people and remind them of our Rotary meetings is paying off to some extent. It's good to see all of you folks and get a chance to chat. If you log in at 12, we can kind of shoot the breeze from 12 to 12:15 or even 12:20 when Jonathan and Lori join us. So so feel free to join in at 12 and we can kind of just chit chat till we get ready to start the meeting. Okay, well with that, without any further ado, I think I will call the meeting to order. And if I had my little gong, I would go gong and say adios. I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat station. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.